Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today is our second class of DDCP December 2023. So what we will cover today, CSS box model in detail, what CSS box model is, then we will switch to what selectors are and some CSS units, CSS floats. You might end up with some CSS design from say the last 5 or 10 years, and then you won't be able to get what is going on there if you are not aware of CSS floats, because flexbox and CSS grids are the newer ways of laying out pages, but CSS floats remained like for a decade or two as the only laying out page concept along with tables. So this is what we will cover, and then we will cover some HTML5 semantic elements. So let's start with CSS box model. We will create a box model.html page. So what CSS box model is, let us be all practical and I'll just create a paragraph. And then I will create a link as well. Open it in a browser. Okay, so this is that paragraph and this is the link. Actually, every element on in HTML, every tag in HTML is a box actually. So we can call this a box, but we will explore both of these boxes differently because this is a block level element. We briefly talked about block level elements yesterday, and this is an inline element, but that box is not evident once you have unstyled content. So we will just give background images to both of these, background colors to both of these in CSS. So we can CSS can be given in three different ways to a page in HTML. One of them is inline styles. For example, style is equal to background dash color red and then colon. This is inline style. If you refresh the page, so that background has been implemented. It can also be added within the page as a separate tag inside the head. So what we can do is just open style tag and then close and give this a CSS. But CSS is given actually to selectors. We will go through it in detail, but for now just we are giving it to the p tag in this tag. So this means that p tags in this page will have a background of red. If we just refresh the page, so this is again the same. and let me give another style to the A tag and background of yellow. Now this clearly demonstrates what block level elements are and what inline elements are. The background stretches to the whole screen, because if there is space available for a block level element, it will stretch its jurisdiction to the end of that space. But in inline elements, the space actually is just that box, that bounding box actually. Now this is the box actually, so we can have some properties given to this box, which are as follows. So for example, in P we can give padding 20 pixels. Padding means space inside the box, so this is actually now padding inside the box, space inside the box, whereas space outside the box is known as margin. So margin 20 pixel. This also means space, but between two boxes, not within the box. So if I create another, for example, another paragraph, this will be space between those two paragraphs. This space is between two separate paragraphs of neighbors, so this is called margin, and it has margins of left, right, top and bottom. Similarly this one. So a box can have padding. Padding means space inside the box. This space is padding, and this space is also padding. This space is also padding. But outside the box, if this is the some space, means there is some margin applied. You may come across some bugs in your designs where there are some spaces like these. So this will always refer to margins. Space outside the box is margins, space inside the box is padding. Okay, this means padding from all four sides. But if I just specify padding dash left, it will be padding on the left side, padding dash right 70 pixels, padding dash top means padding only on the top, for example 50 pixels, and padding dash bottom, this is 90 pixels. And if you write a property and then override it with something else, it will be overridden. Let me give you an example. So I will just refresh it. Now this space, these are different based on the values we have given here, and we can write shortcut of this as well. So for example, padding, you should take it as clockwise treble. This is, I mean, top, right, bottom and left. So if you want the top to be 50 pixels, we will specify 50 pixel. Treble, tr, right is 70 pixels. B is bottom, which is 90 pixels, and left is 30 pixels. So these four lines and these are the same. So what we can do is we can now delete these and just click on save. It will have the same effect. Can you guys still see my screen? Is it okay now? Okay, clear? Good. Same refers to margins. So if you want to have separate margins like these, it would mean 50 to the top, 70 to the right, then 90 bottom, and 30 to the left. Now margins are different as well. Also, talking of the box, so now you should consider any HTML tag as a box. So box can have borders also. So border dash right, for example, it can be 5 pixel blue dotted, for example. So I'm mentioning border right to be 5 pixels blue and dotted. So if I refresh, so now you can see this box has a border of dotted to the right. It can be solid also. Most of times you use solid. So solid and say 15 pixel border to the right. So this is right. But if you want to specify all the borders for all the sides, what you can do is just call it border. So it will be around all the sides. The next we can have width to the box. So for example, I want all the piece to be 500 pixels. So it is going to be 500 pixels. The box can have width also. Similarly, height is going to be 100 pixels, so it will have height also. So box can have widths, heights, borders, background colors, all that. Now a very key concept about the actual width of the box right now. Actual width of the box right now. Let me give it a so for example, the width of the box is 500 pixels and border of 15 pixels on all sides. So on the left the border is 15 pixel, on the right border is 15 pixel, which is total is 30, and the actual width is 500, so it makes it 530 pixels. So this is 15 pixel border, this is 15 pixel border, and the actual width of the box is 500, so it makes it 530 pixels. If I inspect it, just click on it, all of the CSS attached to a tag here in the inspector is shown here. So you can see the border actually is 15 pixel to the left. If I click on this, so left, right, top, all are 15 pixels, and the width is 500 pixels. But if I click on the computed tab and I just come to the width section, width, so width is 500. This is box model, right? So this is 500 pixels, the actual width is plus 30, this 30 is margin, this is 15 is the border, this is the padding, the 30 is the padding. Sorry, I was forgetting the padding. Yeah, and this is margin, padding, sorry, border, margin, padding, and actual width. So it makes it, for example, 30 plus 15, 45 plus 30, 75, and 75, 150, 150 plus 500, 630. It makes it a total of 630 because it has all these properties and margins. Can you guys still see my screen? Okay. So actual width is determined by the actual width of the box plus borders, margins, and padding. Are you getting this point? Yes. We will cover it as it is one of the topics for today. This is CSS units, right? So we will cover it once we are there. Now, basically, I was making a point. For example, I create a wrapper. A wrapper, you will hear this term a lot in CSS designs. Wrapper means the parent div. So for this paragraph, I will create a wrapper div. We'll call it div class is equal to wrapper. For now, just and move this paragraph to this container, and in CSS I will give the wrapper a width of, for example, 1200 pixels and background color pink or whatever. Now you can see this paragraph lies inside this div. If I inspect it and click on the wrapper, you see this wrapper, and then this is the paragraph. Now if I make the width, just for an example, the width of wrapper as, for example, 500 pixels, and refresh the page, this box actually is, and I will give a padding also so you can see the top of the padding dash top 50 pixels. This is what I wanted to demonstrate. The actual width of the container is this 500 pixels, and the paragraph is flowing outside of it. There is a property known as overflow hidden. It means this is the overflowing part. So if I refresh it, it will be cut off. I mean, out of the parent box, the paragraph will not be shown. This is what I wanted to demonstrate. But my question is, we have given the parent 500 pixels width, and we have given the paragraph also 500 pixels width. Why is it overflowing? Why is it larger than the parent? Any answers? if I remove the overflow hidden, you will see that the paragraph is larger than the parent, and the widths are both 500 pixels. 500 is the paragraph also, 500 is the why is it this bigger than the parent? Because by default all the properties of the box model like borders, padding and margins add up to the actual size of the box, right? So if I remove all of the boxes, sorry, all of the these properties, padding, margin and border, for example, for a moment I just cut it, then it is exactly of the same size because both are 500 pixels. But if I reintroduce these values, they actually become part of the box, and the actual width is then more than 500 pixels. So again this will start overflowing. I hope you have got the concept. Is this clear? Okay, so now there is a CSS property which is very much for this purpose, which means box sizing. It's known as box sizing, and it is border box. If we give this property to the element paragraph, for example, then all of these properties, padding, margin, border, they will try to adjust themselves inside the 500 box. I mean, this will not add up, but they will be inside the width of the box. So this way it has at least improved. Why is this one? Because maybe we have padding on the left already. So box, you can read about it, border box CSS yourself also. And if we remove the margin from it, margin left, margin dash left, TRBL, so it now perfectly fits inside the box. So what this property does is box sizing, border box, it lets you get you the actual width including the borders and the paddings. Margin is not included in it. So now it perfectly fits inside the parent. I hope this concept is clear. The rest you can do your research yourself as well. Now coming back to the inline element and its box. So we had given it a box of background color of yellow. If I give it, for example, width 600 pixels, because it's also a box, and refresh it, nothing will happen because inline elements don't take widths. Inline elements don't take widths just like the block level elements, so we can't do anything to it. Let us try padding also. So padding is there, you can have paddings, but let us give margins. Notice there is a very unique sort of difference. We have given margins from all sides, means margin left, margin right, margin top, margin bottom, but it only shifts to the right. If I give margin dash top 100 pixels, so it's still not working. It means inline elements, for inline elements there are only margins on the left or right and not on the top and bottom. That's one of the restrictions for inline elements. So we can have paddings, but we cannot have top and bottom margins in inline elements. We can't give widths to inline elements. It just occupies the actual substance it has. That's the width of it. But we can have paddings. So if you need to have background colors, you just what you do is just give it padding, and then it will have a background color with this space inside. So that's the only difference. A few differences. Any element can be made inline or block via this property, display block. So if I now want this a tag to be stretching just like paragraphs to the rest of the page, so what it will become is, it now has become a block level element. So any inline element can become block level element with the help of this property. And we have given it width, margins, and all of these will now take effect, especially the width was not taking effect. Now it has taken effect. If I remove the width property, it will now stretch to the rest of the page just like paragraphs before we at the start of our lecture. So I hope this is very clear now. Exactly. In inline elements, margins and margins don't work top and bottom, but on the left they do. Width was also not working properly. Width also doesn't work. Left and right margins are working. We will just use some tricks at the end of the lecture today, so it will be clear. Now let's move to the second part of our lecture today, called CSS selectors. I will create a new page, CSS selectors.html. I will create some paragraphs. You can install this extension inside Visual Studio Code for dummy paragraphs. So we have now 3 paragraphs, and inside the head we will open a style tag for CSS. I will make a rule that all the p tags should have a color of red. It means that all the paragraphs in this page should have a text color of red. So if I open it, all the paragraphs have text color of red, and in inspector you just click on inspect, click on any of the elements, this one for example, this is p tag, and to the right you will see which CSS has been implemented on this one. So p color red, and even in the browser you can practice changing colors. It will not be saved to the document, but you can just practice live CSS here. For example, if I want to give this p a width of 500 pixels, and how would it look? So we can just check and do things here. This is not permanent, but if you want to quickly practice something, just do it here and then copy that and move it to your own CSS over here. So this is one of the quickest ways of doing things on the page. Now I don't want every paragraph to look red. I only want, for example, this second paragraph to look red. For that purpose, I will give for example, a class to second paragraph. Class means some identifier actually, and classes can be given to more than one element, whereas IDs are attributes which can only be unique in a page. So green only, for example, green only is an ID. We cannot give ID to any other paragraph in this page or any other element now, but classes can be given to more than one element in a page. So I can give a class of second paragraph to anything else also. For example, I have a heading tag in the page, so page 2, and I will give it a class of second paragraph. So classes can be given to more than one element, but IDs can't be given to more than an element. It will always be unique in a page. Now here in the CSS section, what I will do is, if we have used classes, so here we will use dot for classes. So dot second paragraph, and it will have its own color, for example green. Now all the paragraphs, this means all the paragraphs in the page will have red color, but the one with the class second paragraph will have a green color. Now if we save the page and refresh, so this one has been this is green. If I click on inspect and click on green, this one second paragraph, so here you can see that the active color is green, but it also has been applied this color, which is the default, but it has a dash across on it, means this one has been overridden by this. In English we call it cascading. That's why this is called CSS, cascading style sheets. So actually this has been applied, but it has been overridden by this one. So classes get precedence over the tag selector. This is known as tag selector, this one p tag, h1 tag, h2 tag, whatever, and this is class selector. So classes, I can call it as classes here, classes is greater than tag selector. It means if you have both the CSS for tag as well as classes, So classes will get precedence as it has got precedence here. Color is active now and P is crossed. But if I remove temporarily the secondary paragraph class, then you can see it becomes red because now it is being applied and that dash has been removed from it. So you can test your CSS like this. Is this clear? Okay, so class is for more than one element, and so for example, if we have this is a heading 2, what will be the color of this heading on the page? Anybody? Good. This is the heading. So this class has been applied to this heading also and this one. So we can have more than one classes on the same page. The next selector is ID selector. So for IDs we use hash and the ID. So for example, ID is green only. We will call it green only. And the color is dark green, for example. Green only. If I refresh the page, this one is dark green, this is normal green, because let us not get confused, we will call it, give it blue. So now you can see the top one is ID, which is green, and the class second paragraph is blue now. So both of these are blue, and this one is red because the default one is red. So you can explain it like this: all the paragraphs on the page should be red. So we have a tag selector for it. All the paragraphs on the page should be red, but the ones with the class second paragraph should be blue. So these two have second paragraph classes, that's why it is blue. But this one is green because we have mentioned green only should have a color of dark green. This is how you specify things. Okay, now I'm going to create a div with class of say parent, and then we move one of the paragraphs inside, for example this one, to the div. Parent, and then a class of a paragraph with a class of this. If I refresh it, there will be no change. We will have a new green paragraph, blue paragraph. This one is the paragraph. But if I inspect it, you will see it is inside a div of class parent and paragraph P. Now there is something interesting, which is I want all the paragraph, the second paragraph, to have blue colors, but if they are inside the P tag, inside the div tag, it should be pink. So here div, if we have a div, because this is a tag selector and it has a dot second paragraph, so it means if we have a div and that div has a paragraph, a class of second paragraph, then the color should be, the text color should be pink or purple, so it's visible. So this is purple now. It means that inside the div the paragraph should be purple. If I inspect it now and click on the second paragraph, you will see this is the selector. The top one is the one which has taken effect. So div second paragraph purple. Now you can see there are two crosses, means the second paragraph styling is also not applicable now because we have overridden it, and the main parent paragraph style is also not applicable, because that is also overridden. Is this clear? Okay, good. Now we will just copy and paste this again for some demonstration. This is parent 1 now, and this is parent 2. Parent 1, parent 2, and both of them have second paragraph as their paragraphs. Now I want, if I refresh the page, you will see two separate purple paragraphs, because this styling is getting applied to both div second paragraph, and the color is purple, and let us give it some font size 24 pixels for example. So both of them have 24 pixels of their size, because this style is getting applied. Now I want that parent 1 div should have a separate color and font size, for example. So what I will do is div, and we can call it div dot parent 1, then space dot second paragraph. It means the div which has a class of parent 1, because classes can be given to more than one element. So maybe we have some h1, h2, h3 which has parent 1 class also. So we are specifying the tag also, HTML tag div dot parent 1, and if it has a second paragraph, its size should be font size 48 pixels. It means that this one will, if I refresh it, it will have a bigger size, and that's it, because this rule has overridden this rule now, because we are specifying a div with the class, and this is just a div. So it was for all the divs, this one is for this parent one only. I hope you are getting it, and if I refresh it, you can see div dot parent 1 dot second paragraph, and it has a 48 pixel, because and it is overriding all the previous styles applied to it. You can see they have across div this, but if I uncheck it for just testing purposes, now this one will take effect. If I uncheck it, look, and if I recheck it, then this concept is called specificity in CSS. You can Google it, and or there are videos on YouTube also about specificity in CSS. If you make something very specific, for example, let me give you an example of a room. If there is a room, and then there are cupboards, different cupboards, and then within those cupboards there are drawers, and then within those drawers there are pouches. So if I ask somebody, if I name a room, for example, second paragraph is the name of the room. If I ask you, go to second paragraph room, then the cupboard, then the drawer, then the pouch, and there is a pencil, grab that for me. So you will directly go there. You are very specific. But if I ask you to go to a room and bring me a pencil, so you will be just searching for all the pencils in all the cupboards and drawers and all. So that makes it very broad. If you make it very specific, then it's easier to target. So the same concept lies inside CSS also. If you ask CSS to do something for you, you can be very specific like this, but this is very generic, and this is even more generic. For example, this tells you all the second paragraph classes should be blue, but then you are asking only those second paragraph classes which are inside a div, like inside a room. But then here you are asking CSS to be even more specific, that those divs which have a class of parent one should be of this size. This is all known as specificity. Okay, next, inside this one, div class of parent, we add another div and move this paragraph inside the div. And if I refresh the page, parent 2, second paragraph, this will have its own classes or whatever implementation. Now this parent 2 is inside a div which has a paragraph, so there is no change at all. And I copy this as parent 3, I will call it parent 3. One more thing, you can have more than one classes to a particular element, so it can have parent 2, parent 1, or anything. More than one classes can be applied to divs. Okay, this is the same. If we refresh, we will have two exactly same paragraphs, and this rule is applying on both of these div, and if it has inside a second paragraph, its color should be purple. Now let me add another one, div greater than dot second paragraph, and its color should be something brown, and font dash size should be say 64 pixel, and font dash weight should be bold. Now I have defined another rule which shows div greater than sign second paragraph, and it should be so. What does this mean, anybody? Okay, if I refresh the page, we have some changes on the site. Sorry, dot parent. Let me just change the classes to parent on many of these. So I will give extra classes of parent just for demonstration purposes, and this is parent 1, so this is also parent. So what this means is, if I have a div or anything of class parent, this is known as immediate children. Greater than sign, it means if a second paragraph is immediate to a div, then its color should be brown, font size should be 64, and weight should be bold. If I refresh it, now only this paragraph has these properties, because if I inspect it, this is second paragraph. Where is it? This is class parent, and this is immediate child of the parent class. But if this is also parent, but then there is a div, and then inside the div there is paragraph. This is not immediate. Immediate is div again here, and same is here. These are grandchildren of the parent, not immediate children. So here the div is parent, and class is immediately the second one, the first one, sorry. So yes, exactly, on the first child only. Got it? So this is for if you ever want the first child to have some style, so you can use this symbol, the greater than sign. Now let me give you another example also. This is one, it got all that styling because this paragraph is the immediate child of this parent. Now we will give it another one, another paragraph. This is brother of this paragraph. So this is the parent div, then this one paragraph, this is another paragraph. So both of these paragraphs are siblings, they are called siblings. Okay, if I refresh it, this is that paragraph, the sibling of this one. These both of these are siblings. If I inspect it, so this is parent 1, and these are two siblings, P and P. Both of them are, where is it, this and this. These are siblings. Now this is we are actually moving towards the sibling selectors right now. If I copy this rule, go enter, dot parent, second paragraph. So this means the first one, right? And if it has a sibling, we call it plus P. And let me give it a border of 5 pixels, solid red. What I want with this is, if there is a div with parent class and it has an immediate child which is second paragraph, plus P means if it has immediate immediate sibling as a paragraph, then what you do is you should give it a border of 5 pixels, solid and red. So before refreshing the page, this is that div, it has a brother or sibling. So if it has immediate means there should be no elements after it, between the two. If I refresh it, so this one gets the border. But for example, these are those siblings. If I give h2 here, now this is not immediate sibling of this. h2 is the immediate sibling of this paragraph. So probably or surely it will not take any effect now, because the sibling right now, immediate sibling right now is this h2, not this one. So if for that we have another style rule, and that is tilde sign. This one, instead of the paragraph, we then will make it a tilde. Now any sibling after this one will take that effect if it is a P. Got it? So what so far we have studied? Let us close today's lecture with it. The CSS box model we practiced and the CSS selectors. The rest of this will be in the next class, inshallah. These two we have so far covered, and the rest we will cover in the next class, inshallah. Thank you very much.